Hi loves, it's Lacey and welcome back to our space. So today in our space I have some Valentine's DIYs for you guys. So let's just jump into it. Right here, as you can see, I have this chalkboard heart that came from Target's Bullseye Playground. It has a little key on it and it was only $3, which I thought was a really good price for how nice and big it is. The problem is this key lays fine down on the heart, but when you go to hang it up by the twine, it does not lay flat at all. I don't really understand this concept, so we're going to take it off of here. I'm just going to cut the twine and save it to put back on the back of the heart to use as a hanger. I'm just going to attach it lower, but I'm going to take the key off, and don't worry, we're going to use the key for this DIY. We just aren't going to leave it attached to the twine at the top. I get the concept, but I don't understand why they did it that way. So here, we're just going to glue it back on a little bit lower, the twine part, so we can use that to go ahead and hang this heart up if you want to. You don't have to use twine, you can add something different, but I didn't want to waste anything. Now I have these really tiny roses from Dollar Tree. They're kind of an off-white with a yellow tint to them. I really like these because they were small and they wouldn't take up a lot of room on this heart, and they were like nicely tightly put together. I'm going to cut the ends off of them where they were attached to make them a lot flatter. But I'm not going to cut them so low that the roses come apart. And then I'm going to glue them all the way around the border. After I got these on, I can tell you right now, I did not like the color. I thought they were more off-white, but they give off like a yellow tone. It's really pretty, and I was trying to go for like more of a neutral look. However, I would prefer to have red, and they did not have red at any of the stores that were really close to me. And so I am probably going to remove all of these. I'm going to save them and I'm going to use them in another project, but I don't really care for the yellow tint. So now here we have the key, and I'm going to take a Jenga block and put it on its side and put the key on it and put it on the bottom. We're going to make a little ledge, but so that the Jenga block does not show, I'm going to take some Waverly chalk paint that I got from Walmart in my stash in the color ink, which is basically their black, and as you can see, I'm coloring that block in, so it basically will be invisible and all you will see is the key when we glue it down. So chalk paint dries really fast. We're just going to put some glue on the side, on the smallest side, and then glue the key down, and then we're going to turn it over once that's dry and glue it to our chalkboard at the bottom. And I'm putting it as low as I can get it to still be able to see the key and to make a little ledge. And that ledge is so we can put a piece of chalk on there. But before we do, we're going to take a piece of chalk, and I'm writing, "You have the key to my heart." And I'm actually going to draw a heart instead of write the word heart on here. I just think it is really cute. You can write whatever you want for it. You can also use a chalk pen. I do have a couple of them, but they are a little fat for this ledge. I need to get a skinnier one, and this is what my final project looks like. As you can see, I covered up the chalk with a little bit of ribbon because it kind of looked like a cigarette sitting up there, so I didn't want to show that. And once I take off the other roses, it will look like it goes. Okay, on to project number 2. I'm taking this leftover picture frame that I had from some framed art at Dollar Tree. There's no glass in it, and the art is already gone. So I'm going to be covering the back of it with this black and white striped wrapping paper. If you guys are a oldie but goodie on my channel, you know I use wrapping paper for all kinds of projects. I absolutely love this. I'm going to trace out the back and then cut it out and just glue it down with some hot glue. Now if you want to get the same look and not have to go buy wrapping paper, you could take some white like computer paper, tape it off, paint over it in black. You probably have to do it like at least 2 sheets together, and then turn around and remove the tape, and you can get black and white striped write paper that way too, but this is wrapping paper. It was cheap. It came from like Hobby Lobby, I do believe. And then once we get this all covered, I just use some hot glue for it because you're not going to really notice it and it'll hold it down. We're just going to put it back into the frame. And then, like I showed you a second ago, I have this sheet music that I printed out on my computer, just from my computer, just on my regular printer. It's actually 2 sheets that I'll be showing you here in a second. And I'm going to tear around it to make it fit into this frame. Now I'm making sure that I don't tear off the name. This is the song My Funny Valentine to go along with Valentine's Day. As you can see, I cut off the excess that was in the back because it wasn't long enough. And you're not going to see that it doesn't actually match up when we get done with it. So that is not an issue. I just wanted it longer for the frame. Once I get it torn like I like it and it fits within the frame, I'm going to then take some black paint, which is the Waverly chalk paint here, and I'm going to simply go around the edge to make it look worn. And I actually wanted it to look pretty old, so I was using a wet wipe to clean up my area because I got a little paint on it, and I'm going to just take the paint that's on there and rub it around the edges, as you can see, to make it look kind of old. Now I'm taking some Mod Podge from the Dollar Tree and I just dump some right on it, and there's no wrong or right way to do this. I'm just going to make sure that I adhere this down all the way around. I know I'm going pretty fast here. I sped the footage up, but I'm going to slow it down here so you can see that I just am dragging across the edges. I didn't put any under it, but I'm rubbing my brush there underneath it and then dragging across the edges so they stick down. This piece isn't going to get moved around very much or anything, so just as long as it sticks down, it works for me. Now I'm taking one of these beautiful roses that I got from Michael's that was 80% off and is actually a Christmas item, and I'm going to measure where I would like it to go on this frame. My Mod Podge is still a little wet, that's why that's shiny. I actually used the matte one, and once I measure it, I'm going to just cut it off here with some wire cutters. I'm going to keep that stem, you know, I keep everything just in case I can use it for something else. And I'm going to see where I would like it to sit in the middle of my sheet music, making sure I don't cover up the name of what the music is. Then I'm just going to glue it down with my hot glue gun. I removed one of the leaves because it was sticking out too much. And so I'm going to take that apart a little and put it back on because you know me, I'm extra. I need it to look nice and full in order for me to like it. And then we have one more step and this is done. I am taking some ribbon from Dollar Tree. All 3 of these are from Dollar Tree. This one says Happy Valentines on it. And as you can see, I'm being really picky here, just folding it over to make a simple tied bow. On this one, I want it to be able to read Happy Valentine. So I'm just making sure that it's going to fit where I want it on the stem. And you can still read Happy Valentines. That's why it's taking me so long to just push it together. If it was a normal bow, I would be done with it already. Once I get that in the spot that I like, I'm going to take the one that has all of these little hearts on it. It's pink, red, and white hearts. And I'm going to do the same thing. And you're going to see here that I'm going to do that a whole lot faster because I don't have to worry about where they're going to fall on the ribbon. And I'm just going to cut that edge right off to leave some nice long tails on it. And then I'm going to take this white Lacee ribbon and I'm going to wrap it around to tie the middle. Instead of using any floral wire or anything like that, it's just simple because I am going to be using this ribbon for just tails, and I thought, oh, it would be good to make the tie in the middle. Once I get that done, I'm going to figure out where I'm going to place it after I fluff it up a little bit, and then I'm going to glue it down with some hot glue on the stem. And then this project is basically done once I cut all of the tails so they don't hang past the bottom of the picture frame. I love how this turned out. I think it is so, so pretty. The rose head is kind of heavy, but it's not too heavy for this frame. And you can hang it on a wall or you can set it down somewhere next to something. and it just adds so much to your decor. I think it's a beautiful and one of my favorite Valentine's projects I've ever done. Not that I've done a ton of Valentine's projects in the past, but this one is so special. I absolutely love it. Okay, for this next project and our last project, I'm going to be using some of the grapevine hearts that come in a bag of 5. I bought 3 bags of those, so I'd buy at least 2 if you want to try this project. I have the bamboo cup that's the pen holder from Crafter Square and 2 of the roses. This one was already cut off from another project. I'm going to reuse it. So you're going to need 3 of these hearts, and I can tell you right now, I opened 2 of the packs to get the shortest hearts that were available and the ones that didn't have the most stuff on them. You'll see if you buy those that some of them are really thick and some of them are thinner. You need kind of the shorter ones. It'll work if you use the taller ones. They'll just be taller than the cup, but I'm using the shortest ones, so they're not that much taller than the cup. So I cut off the stem to the roses and I took the leaves off. I'm going to remove the long extra stems from the leaves. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be using these leaves to cover the outside of the cup. The cup reminded me of a tree for wood, and so that's basically what I'm using it for. I want this foliage to be looking like it kind of is growing off of it, if it can. I don't know. I just really wanted to cover it with some foliage. So that's what we're going to be doing here. And we're going to do it all the way around the cup. Now, the only tip that I give you for this is I made sure that if I had a stem on the extra leaves that I'm putting on, that they kind of tuck underneath one of the other leaves, so it didn't look like it wasn't growing together. I'll show you here. I just kind of put some glue on it and kind of tuck it in so it looks like it's growing off of that leaf. And that's all I did. There's no rhyme or reason to this. You can put them on any kind of way that you like, but I did cover the entire cup. Alright, now that we have all the leaves on, we're going to take our hearts, and they all kind of sort of bend one direction. So as you can see, it kind of bends towards the cup, and I'm going to glue the top middle section to the top of the cup and the leaves. I made sure that I didn't have leaves all the way around the edge of the top of the cup. That way you can actually glue to the wood portion as well. And so this is going to take 3 of them. They're not going to touch each other. I made sure I left a little gap next to each one so they fit all the way around, and it's just going to take a second to hold it to dry, especially if you're using a high heat glue gun like I am. My Ryobi glue gun, it is high heat, but it holds my Gorilla Glue sticks, and I'm using Gorilla Glue throughout all of these projects. So then I'm going to take one of the rose that I had left over, the one that was already cut. It was kind of squished on one side, and so I'm going to take out the center section of that rose, as you can see right there. It's the entire satin section of that rose, and then I'm going to peel apart the glued edges on the bottom portion because I want this rose to be bigger and making sure that it covers the entire opening of the cup. So now here I'm just checking to make sure that it is going to be big enough and that the other rose fits in there well. I take it back out and remove the stem, and then I put it back in, and it makes this rose set up a whole lot higher, and it's big enough to cover the top of the cup. So now that I have that done, I have leftover in my stash, as you can see, this is what it looks like right here. I have leftover in my stash some little white flowers that kind of remind me of baby's breath. I'm not sure what they were on. They might have been on roses. I save everything that I don't use, as you guys know. And I'm going to add some into the hearts around the vines and by the leaves, just for a little bit of extraness, because you guys know I'm extra. I thought it needed something, and really, to tell the truth, I wanted to put ribbon on it. I wanted to put a couple little butterflies on it, but then I thought I was way over the top. So I want the rose to actually be the star of this piece. So I'm only going to add in a few pieces of baby's breath here. And for a final touch, I'm taking this candle stick here from Dollar Tree. It has a little base that goes to it. As you can see, I'll show you here. We're not going to be using this base, but if you needed it for something, these are really nice. It is a bright white light up candle. I already put the batteries in it, and of course it's from Dollar Tree, so it's going to give me a little bit of trouble here to light up, but it fits perfectly down in the center of this rose. I absolutely love that. And so this is a candle holder, and I thought it was really, really cute. I contemplated actually painting the candlestick like the red or maybe, you know, a green or something, but I left it white. I didn't decide to do anything else, and I still kind of wanted to put a butterfly on the bottom. I wanted to get one that went with the coloring though, and I didn't have one in my stash. So that is it for all three of these projects. Comment down below and let me know which one you like the most. I tell you what, once I change out these roses to red on this one, I think it will be spectacular. But I like it in the way it is also. And this one is definitely my favorite one, my funny Valentine with the little rose. I absolutely love this, and I am going to make sure this stays up even after Valentine's Day in my house. You could actually put a ribbon on there that doesn't say Happy Valentine's Day and probably leave it out for a whole lot longer. I just think it turned out to be super pretty, and I might actually make a second one because I have pretty much everything that I could, because I do have a few more of those roses. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching, for liking, and always sharing my videos. And if you are not a subscriber here yet at Lacee Space, I don't know why not. Go ahead, become a subscriber, smash that subscribe button, hang out with us for a while. We have a lot of fun here. We make a lot of cool things here. Also, if you like, you can follow me on Instagram. It's Lacee Space, the same way that it's spelled here. And I will catch all of you in my next video. Bye, loves.